world as we discuss what is transpiring between Russia and Ukraine, as well as what's happening in the Middle East. Meanwhile, viewers, shifting focus to what's happening within the United States of America. U.S. President Donald Trump has stated that he would deploy National Guard troops to fight crime in Chicago. This is an attempt to turn the nation's third largest city into a militarized zone, according to critics. It is likely to spark a legal showdown with local authorities. Let's in fact hear what the U.S. president had to say.
Going in. I didn't say when. We're going in. When you lose, look, I have an obligation. This isn't a political thing. I have an obligation. When we lose, when 20 people are killed over the last 2.5 weeks and 75 are shot with bullets.
Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker has now slammed President Trump's plan to deploy the National Guard to Chicago and stated that the city does not want troops on their streets. He has added that none of this is about fighting crime or making Chicago safer. The Democratic governor told reporters that for Trump, this is about testing his power and producing a political drama to cover up for his alleged corruption. Meanwhile, California Governor Gavin Newsom's press office has made a post on X by filing a preliminary injunction asking the court to stop the extension of these soldiers' deployment in LA through November 5. A federal judge halted President Trump's administration from deploying the military to combat crime in California, while the Republican president did threaten to send troops to additional U.S. cities, including Chicago. U.S. District Judge Charles Breyer has ruled that the Trump administration deliberately violated the Post-Comitatus Act by deploying troops for crowd control and supporting immigration and drug raids. In June, there were about 4,000 National Guard members and 700 Marines who were sent to Los Angeles. There was a legal showdown over this that had transpired earlier, and now it seems likely that one will also take place over what's happening in Chicago and Trump's intents as far as Chicago is concerned. With us on the broadcast is Professor Madhav Nalapath. He is the editorial director of the Sunday Guardian, joining us live from New Delhi. Thank you for taking our time speaking to NewsX World. Trump, in his soundbite that we just heard, has said that his intent to deploy the National Guard in Chicago is not a political thing. So is this a genuine bid to tackle crime or a show of strength to reinforce the MAGA voter base's support?
Well, the fact is that it is political, and the reality is that the people who have the most experience on the ground are the Chicago police, and they're not going to take kindly to National Guards coming in and basically taking over their responsibilities. My worry is that the National Guard, I mean, they're not really equipped for this kind of civil, what do I say, civil protests. They're equipped for civil unrest on a massive scale, and the entire training is for civil unrest on a massive scale, not for civil protests. So my worry is, frankly, this itself is now causing a lot of the streets to have large demonstrations against this kind of thing. Then you have counter demonstrations in favor, and there's a risk that these will turn violent. And if the National Guard opens fire and several people are killed or injured, that's going to look very, very bad. And frankly, it's going to be very bad news for the people of Chicago and also for President Trump. So my own view is that I think he should understand that the United States is a federal union, and as a consequence, what is needed is to consult with the local government and the local police and get their cooperation and support before deploying the National Guard, because the police have first-hand knowledge of every precinct, of every street corner. And yes, some of them could have done a better job, but the fact is that the National Guard are completely clueless about these kind of situations. And I'm afraid that this might trigger some kind of an unfortunate incident involving shooting by National Guard, and that is going to be very, very unfortunate.
All right, so I request you to stay on with us as we track further developments. We're shifting our focus away